So let's take a look at this. This PFF grades on the defensive side of the ball against the Seahawks last Sunday. So Maurice Hurst, 92.4, highest graded defensive player. Then you've got Myles Garrett, 78.7, Martin Emerson, Grant Delpit, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Let's talk a little bit about Maurice Hurst. That's a guy that, Dalvin Tomlinson was brought in and he's done well. Hurst has been a guy that just hasn't been able to stay healthy. When he's been on the field, he's been a pretty good defensive tackle, and he's been healthy this year.
Yeah, he has. And I think that's a really good sign for the Browns. Now, he hasn't, he's still in a kind of a part of a rotation right now, but I have really been impressed by Maurice Hurst, too. Coming out of Michigan, PFF had him as a top 5 prospect in the draft. Now, obviously, he went in the 5th round of that draft because of a heart issue that's kind of plagued him throughout his career. He's obviously not stayed healthy otherwise either, but yeah, he looked elite. And this is kind of not a surprise either. Against the Ravens, he had a really good grade. Against the Titans, he had a really good grade as well. The Browns are kind of hoping that Maurice Hurst can take the leap from a guy who's just a part of the rotation, which is kind of what he is right now, to a guy who could be a full-time starter, and not only that, but be a star on that defensive line alongside Myles Garrett.
When you talk about Garrett, grade not as high, but there are reasons for that. The double and triple teams it's you're not getting wins when you're being double and triple teamed. What have you seen from Garrett?
He might be the defensive player of the year this season. He has truly been special. He's a guy that I think is kind of overdue for a defensive player of the year award. He has been special this year, and I think he's a guy that I would probably put at the top of the conversation. Now, there have been some great defensive players this year, don't get me wrong. But right now, Myles Garrett, he has a 93.1 grade on the season that leads all defensive players in the NFL, right ahead of Dexter Lawrence, Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, TJ Watt, guys like that. So Myles Garrett has truly been special. The sack numbers maybe not be as elite as other edge defenders, but he is still getting to the quarterback at an extremely high rate. It's a good point you made. He is getting double, triple teamed almost every single play.
Last guy we'll ask about, the third guy in that list, Martin Emerson, second-year guy, third-round pick. I've been pleasantly surprised. He played at an elite level last year and just keeps playing well.
Yeah, and listen, he has had some up and down moments, I would probably say, this year, as has the other two corners for the Browns. Denzel Ward has kind of had an up and down year as well for the Browns. But Martin Emerson, obviously, you take him in the draft a couple years ago out of Mississippi State. Like you said, he's been pretty solid, and he's a guy that you didn't really expect too much of as a rookie, and he had a really good year as a rookie. Now it's been a little more up and down, but I still think this is a guy that you can count on being one of your starting corners for the foreseeable future.